Welcome to ISIS in the Bible. Yes, we've changed the name. The whole Bible is about the woman who meets with her son, you, on the stations of the cross, also known as the stations of the zodiac. Our topic for the day, Wednesday, February 8th, is remember me. And that's not a question, that is a command, remember me, because she comes back. We will go over what just happened in the sky with the earthquake in Turkey. And the question that we went over and went around the room was, what's your interpretation of the white and the black witch? Which witch is which? Is there one goddess or is there two? Are there many? Heck, even the Bible scholars can't agree how many Marys there are. So it's pretty interesting that on February the 28th, the white witch and the black witch, that are the luminaries in the sky, they meet. So I won't go over this in detail, but Zero Arise, which is Aries. So the mother is almost coming back into Aries to meet with the sun on April 15th, right? Which represents the Phoenix rising. Juno is the white witch. That's Nephthys. That's Mary Magdalene. She's the one that's always visible to us. And her cycle is every couple of 2-3 years to go around the zodiac. The black witch, which is Eris, Isis, Virgin Mary. So that's where all these stories stem from, is from the luminaries. The Virgin Mary, the pure one, the black one, the one that cleanses us. The reason why we feel not good from the black is because we're getting something cleansed out of us, a vibration that we used with the light. See, we are gods and goddesses. We get to use the light and manifest things. If we don't manifest them properly, then it doesn't feel good. And then the black witch gets the bum rap, right? Because black is pure. If you look at the middle of a magnet, there's the black hole. When you come out of the womb, there's no light in there, right? When you go to sleep, it's black, isn't it? You're recharging. So you got to remember that. So just remember that Mary meets Mary on February the 28th. The white witch and the black witch are having a meeting on your personal ascension. Think about that. What are your thoughts? Are they loving? I know this group is awesome. And so are a lot of the people on YouTube. But that is the moral of the story. And we're getting like it's almost like a report card on how you've been. How have you been using your witch skills with the white light? We manage the white light. The black is the pure. You can only do not good in the white light. Get it? Because you can see, you're in manifest. So the not good only happens in the white light, and the black is the pure. She goes around, Virgin Mary, 558 years to go around the cycle. There's so many of the greats that we're looking into astrology, wondering when she comes back home because we get a cleanse. We'll get into that a little bit later. So let's look at the power of Mother Nature. Interesting that ding went off. This may not seem loving, but know that Mother Nature is cleansing the earth. For our brothers and sisters in Turkey who had loved ones migrate into their next journey, we wish their families to know that there is now more angels in heaven to watch over us and guide us through the change of age. And may they find peace in their memories and all the signs they will give them every day. So some of you know that we've been studying weather phenomena and its cause, which is from the stars. No different than medical astrology of a human or an animal, the natal earth also shows signs. I won't get into much detail here. If anybody wants to, you can ask me outside here. But know that these signs have the same aspects of receiving midheaven signs. Exactly the same as when I had a grackle showing me to look up when the luminaries are right exactly overhead. So just really quick, Neptune is aligned, as you can see right here. This is the natal earth, Imam Coeli and Medium Coeli. This is where they give you signs, and Lilith is right there, temptations, and she can bring definitely upon people who are not using things as temptation-wise. And Neptune was also at the judicial point of Capricorn. And you can see Juno, which is Mary Magdalene, magma, magnitude of an earthquake. She's 100% related to earthquakes. Chiron, the wounded healer, is on the Imam Coeli MC. So that's of that location. So that location had on the MC and IC, Juno, Mary Magdalene, the White Witch, and Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron, the wounded healer, I'm going to show you a sign so you can let other people know. So that was exactly at the time when that earthquake hit. I've done other ones, and that similar is there. So we get signs from Mother Nature telling us we got to get good. So if we think that man is behind weather events, just think about that. It's a placebo. It's a reminder for us. Let's make sure we keep the waters with the truth, that it's spiritual. Clean up your act. Because the other thing, blaming men, makes people not happy. And that's not what this is about. This is about getting back to love. So if we're going to go around not loving people because we think somebody else did it, that's not the right message. Because it's Mother Nature doing it to us because of us. So as another quick example, talk a little bit more about medical astrology. The moon goes by, every month, right? But it spends about 2.5 days in each sign of the zodiac. So I know because my natal says you're going to feel the moon in Cancer because I had stomach issues my whole life, right? So if 5 days ago to 2.5 days ago, if you were feeling something in your stomach, it could be the moon. So don't worry about it. You don't have to go take pills. You don't have to take anything. It's just part of your cleanse telling you to, hey, slow down. You're abusing your stomach. For the last 2.5 days, if you're like me and my wife, we both got heart palpitations, fluttering, skipping beats, right? The racing of the heart. I had that for the last 2.5 days. And lo and behold, today, look, we're talking about the Black Witch, and the moon's going into Virgo at 4:20 p.m. 4:20, Mary Jane, right? Marijuana, Mary's plant. She goes into Virgo, which is the intestines. So if your intestines aren't feeling good over the next 2.5 days, know that it's a sign to you. All these things are a sign so that you can learn about what's happening with your body, so you can tune in to the ebb and flow, to the cycles of Mother Nature. Because we can blame it. There'll be a lot of placebo reasons why we get those feelings in our intestines, but hey, it's about what are you doing? And I won't go over these, but in case anybody wants to see, this is a pretty good summary that I found from Raphael's Medical Astrology. And he did a good job because I usually use Culpepper's and a bunch of others, but it was a nice summary of what you can expect with each of the signs: external, internal, and structural. So that's a good one, good reference. So let's talk about why we should remember the Black Witch, which is symbolic for the divine feminine. Know that every great astrologer, philosopher knew of the energy of divine feminine, which demands love and brings upon these cleanses. The black is pure. It's not an entity. It's just pure love. So we're dedicating today's gathering about one thing we all have in common. It's the same story across this one land, which all agree upon the divine feminine. This is I'm talking about in history. We're trying to catch up and remember. Again, there is only one way in these waters, and that's through the womb of the mother, right? So every culture has the name for the Black Witch. There are so many different goddesses and gods and everything else talked about, but for the most part, we're pretty sure we have this one right. But there is one in every culture because they all looked for it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about 42 spiritual laws of Isis. I follow my inner guidance. And that is the guidance of the light, the stars. Do we really know what inner guidance means? It comes from everywhere, but we're not to take it literally. A gem of proof that we are upon a Phoenix rising, an age of Aquarius. Thanks to Rev Cat, there's a YouTube video that has a lot of good content, and there's some good content that's I wouldn't recommend, especially near the end, but A lot of good content in there. It's called The Great Year by Binary Researchionist. So they talk about the Mithra. This is a stone relief in the Housteds in Northumberland, England. You can see that he's busting out of an egg. He's holding, looks like a sword and a flame, or separating the Ouroboros. You can see an omega. You can see all the different signs of the zodiac. They're showing you precession. You got to pay attention to where the stars are at. The stars is what's giving us the guidance, and the stars tell us when the Black Witch comes home and cleanses us. So this is about changing of the ages due to precession. And you need to account for precession if you want to find out when she comes home. So when you Google Mithra, you'll get Perseus slaying the Taurus, slaying the bull. It's the ending of the age of Taurus. Can you imagine we actually took this literally, what we're doing with bulls? So the sky wasn't doing anything to Taurus the bull in the sky, but yet we're doing that act down below. Why? Because we saw these images on the Egyptian walls and took them literally. Let me show you. The stars map the land. We've been through some of this before, right? Here's the bull, Taurus. Where's the bull at? South America, right? Here's Aries, United States, head country, right? Well, here's Perseus. So I plotted all of Ptolemy's stars so I can bring them up on the map. So here's Perseus slaying the bull, because here's the bull going into Aries, and Perseus lies between Taurus and Aries. So we needed to put this message in concrete somewhere, so when we come out of our spiritual Alzheimer's, which we're doing now, we can go, what are we doing to those poor animals? Somebody took that literally. I got to slay a bull if I want to be king. No, you got to understand the stars if you want to be kings and queens. So we took a lot of things literally. So when did this happen last? When was there something to do with the Station of the Cross? Well, first of all, I wanted to bring that in, sorry. Because this is what we should be doing with bulls. Showing them love. Mother Nature will take domain in the generation of Isis, which starts on April 15th out of Revelation and into Genesis, Generation Isis. So when's the last time when both Marys met with the sun? Oh, look at that. They meet exactly. Okay, both Marys. There's Juno, the one that looks like a sparkler, because she's also depicted as a peacock, and she gives shingles. That's why she looks like a sparkler. And she brings earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. That's why she looks like that. There's a reason why they made these glyphs that way. So look at the mother and the sun is aligned at the Station of the Cross with both Marys. Get it? So this happens all the way around the zodiac, and it's their special meaning. So when this happened in 1578, April 29th, 1578, that happened, right? Well, look, there's something major that happened in 1582, 4 years later. The Vatican added 10 days to the calendar. If you kept the 10 days in, you'd never been able to know that the Phoenix Rising is April 15th, 2023. So whether they did that intentionally or not is yet to be seen. If somebody thinks they're going to try to hide it, I don't know, whatever. But man's been doing things that he shouldn't. He's been playing with the white light by trying to deceive people. The Vatican has the largest telescopes in the world. Why? That was done by good people, so we can re-look for when she returns. You can see that Eris was discovered again in 2005, because that's the story of Isis. The Black Witch goes to the underworld, right? And then she has to come back into the visible light. She comes into the light so she can cleanse us, right? She's going to give us the white light that we don't want, the karma. You can see very clearly in the architecture of the Vatican that they have a Phoenix Rising. They show the dragon, which represents the volcanic eruptions. I won't go through that, but they have the largest telescopes in the world. Does the Vatican not have one of the biggest astrological clocks in the world? Absolutely. I don't go try to figure out when she's coming back based on that clock. Somebody else can do it if they want. I already know she's coming back. It's in the stars. and it lines up exactly on the station of the cross in the east at 0 point Aries or Arise. Galileo's riddle. We've talked about this before. Galileo's riddle it's not a riddle. He's trying to tell you, how is it that something we can't see all of a sudden becomes something that can cleanse us, right? I am monster, stranger and more formed than the witch, the nymph, or the chimera. Chimera is a three-headed beast. Nor in the earth, in the air, in the water is there any beast, in other words, that can do this to people, can cleanse the whole earth. That is such various forms of limbs, apart from that one is white and the other black. And often I have a host of hunters at my feet, karma, tracing my footsteps in the dark of darkness is my living room. So all these greats, they were trying to find when she returns. So let's jump into Mary in the Quran, because they're in everywhere. So I just picked a couple. I'll do some every once in a while, just so we can just prove to ourselves that both these Marys are in every culture. So from how Mary can be a bridge between Christian and Muslims, from Blaise Kupich from American Magazine. Not only can Christians and Muslims gain insight into each other's faiths by comparing their images and stories of Mary, but they can also visit several Marian shrines throughout the world that are frequented by Catholics, other Christians, and Muslims alike. Some of the more popular shared Marian shrines include Our Lady of Sednaya Monastery in Syria, Our Lady of Africa in Algeria, and Mariam Anaiva in Turkey. And that is another synchronicity. I didn't even realize I had that there, all right, for Turkey. So what they're telling you is that same thing this image does is the woman brings us back together. Pure love does. The black witch brings us back together again. That's why the Madonna here, the Italians carry around, is black, with the baby Jesus is black, because they're not literal. They're energies of us. So again, Mary in the Quran, this is just of the first one that I just showed. So it was a 547 AD. They show the baby with the mother. That one's white. And you can see symbology here too. This is in that shrine. They got the Cairo. So there's symbology in here that means 100% everything that we're talking about, right? Again, Mary in the Quran. This is from Mary in Islam, Wikipedia. In the Quran, her story is related in 3 Meccan surahs, 19, 21, 23, and 4 Medinan surahs, 3, 4, whatever. The 19th surah, Miriam, is named after her. The Quran refers to Mary more often than the Bible. Well, we know that, right? Mary's been taken out. The divine feminine's been taken out of the Bible. The word Lord is where it was taken out, because Lord means ruling goddess, which means the divine feminine, and it's in there over 7,000 times. So we've been through this before with some of you, but I just wanted to show you the Quran is here about 644 to 656 after Christ. So that was after 500 AD, when it had been translated over to 500 languages. And somewhere in there is where they used the word Lord, and they switched it to mean a man. And remember, in 500 BC, Isha was woman. And then in Sanskrit was ruling goddess. Okay, we'll do one more. Mary in Theogony. This is for the Greeks, right? In a Greek manuscript, they talked about all the gods. They call this poetry. It's not poetry. It's absolute them learning off the Egyptian walls. Remember, they talk about an ephemeris, right? The ephemeris is the star tracking catalog. And there's the word Eris. So Eris is the goddess of discord and strife to the Greeks. Why? She brings cleanses. That's the Black Witch. That's Isis. And this is Nephthys, Juno. And there's an Eris and they have an Aneris. Then they have a Discordia, they have a Harmonia. So there's all kinds of names, right? So everybody's trying to, but they're all related to the different luminaries in the sky. But the biggest ones are the 2 Marys, because they meet with you, the sun, on the stations of the cross in impeccable timing. So a quote from the Greek philosopher Plato. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. And as you can see, Plato's pointing up, right? Look to the stars. And just a quick reminder, we've showed this before. This is where the two Marys, right? The black witch, the white witch, at the station of the cross over here, where both Marys meet over here at 0 point Libra, which is the set, which is the fall, which is dying on the cross, because this makes the cross, right? But they have metaphysical and physical meanings to us too, because when the sun sets, we go to sleep, right? When the sun dies on a cross, there's things happening in the world. We're lucky because we're now where the sun rises and we get a new us, a new sun. It's a phoenix rising. So after dying on the cross and several stations on the cross, so here's the last 558 years, phoenix risings. Look where Juno was here. This would be in 349 AD. This would be in 907, is Juno's there. And then in 1465. And then here, for this phoenix rising, she joins the party. And don't forget, on February 28th, our two mothers are meeting. Those two energies are meeting in the sky. Is it coincidence? It's not. It's in the stars. So we do have spiritual mothers, and they do want love, and we're being induced by love. So get over it. All right. Okay, so that's it. I just got a little song for you, and then we're
ship.